How do you find hope when things feel absolutely hopeless? That question is right at the heart of one of the most important books of the 20th century, Viktor Frankl's Man's Search for Meaning. And let me tell you, it's a book that doesn't just give you answers, it completely changes the questions you ask about your own life.
And right away, Frankl just flips the whole thing on its head. He says, stop asking life what its meaning is. See, he argues that life is the one asking us the questions. Our entire existence, every single day, is about how we choose to answer.
So who was this guy with these incredible ideas? Well, Dr. Viktor Frankl was a psychiatrist. But get this, his theories weren't cooked up in some comfy office. No, they were forged in the absolute hell of Nazi concentration camps.
You have to understand Frankl was in this unique and terrible position of being both a prisoner and a doctor. And he noticed something profound. He saw that survival wasn't just about being young or physically strong. No, it was something deeper. It was a kind of strength that came from having a purpose. And that observation became the bedrock of his life's work, which he called Logotherapy.
Okay, so to really get what Frankl's talking about, we have to go there. We have to try and grasp the brutal reality of the camps. The entire system was designed with one chilling goal in mind: to completely and systematically destroy a person's identity. And this process, this dehumanization, it was chillingly methodical. Everything that made you was systematically stripped away. Your papers, your clothes, your wedding ring, even your name was gone, replaced by a number tattooed right onto your skin. You weren't a person anymore. You were just part of a herd.
But here's the thing, even in the middle of all that, you saw these tiny, incredible acts of defiance. And this advice from a veteran prisoner, it wasn't about looking good, not at all. It was a strategy, a desperate strategy for survival.
I mean, can you imagine scraping your face with a piece of broken glass to shave? That wasn't just self-care, it was a psychological weapon. It was a powerful declaration, both to yourself and to the guards, that said, I am still a human being. You have not broken me. It was about clinging to that last shred of who you were.
And this, right here, brings us to the absolute core of Frankl's philosophy. He realized that even when you take away everything from a person, their home, their family, their name, there was one thing, just one, that could never, ever be taken away.
Seriously, just try to put yourself there for a second. You're surrounded by death, by despair. There is no physical escape. Where does your mind even go? The only place left to run was inward.
So Frankl's on this brutal march, right? He's freezing, he's starving, and he finds his escape. He would have these vivid, soul-lifting conversations with his wife in his own mind. This inner world filled with love and memory became his secret sanctuary, a place no guard could ever touch.
He actually had a name for this. He called it the intensification of inner life. For the prisoners who could do this, this rich, private world became more real, more sustaining than the horrific physical world around them. It wasn't just a nice thought, it was a lifeline.
And that experience led him to his most powerful, most famous conclusion. The Nazis could control his body, his environment, everything about his physical existence, but they could not control his response. This is it. This is the last of the human freedoms, the power to choose your attitude no matter what is happening to you.
So after the war, Frankl takes these just earth-shattering lessons and he builds them into a whole school of psychotherapy. He called it logotherapy.
Now, a lot of psychotherapy back then was all about the drive for pleasure or the drive for power. Frankl's idea, logotherapy, was totally different. It comes from the Greek word logos, which means meaning. And he argued that our main drive, what really gets us out of bed in the morning, is our search for purpose.
Okay, so how do you actually find this meaning? It sounds great, but what does it look like in real life? Frankl said, look, there are basically three main paths. You can find it by creating something or doing a deed. You can find it by experiencing something beautiful or loving someone. And then there's the third one, the most profound one. You can find it in the attitude you take towards suffering you simply cannot escape.
And that third path, that's the one that really blows your mind. He tells this amazing story about an old doctor who was severely depressed because his wife had died. Frankl asked him, "Doctor, what would have happened if you had died first?" And the doctor said, "Oh, she would have suffered terribly." Frankl then replied, "You see, you have spared her all that suffering." In that single moment, the man's pain didn't disappear, but it was transformed. It now had a meaning. It was the price he was willing to pay for his love.
Okay, so you're probably thinking, this is an incredible story, But I'm not in Auschwitz. How does this apply to me? Well, Frankl would argue that his lessons are actually more relevant to us today than ever before.
And this slide really gets to the heart of it. For the prisoners, the challenge was surviving extreme, unimaginable hardship. But Frankl saw that the big challenge for so many of us today is what he called the existential vacuum. It's this deep feeling of emptiness, boredom, and a nagging sense that life is meaningless. His argument was basically that because we don't have to fight for survival day in and day out, many of us are left with this void. We have everything we need to live, but we have no why to live for. And that emptiness creates its own kind of suffering.
And if you think he's exaggerating, just look at this number. After the war, there was this big public opinion poll conducted in France, asking people about their lives.
A whopping 89%, nearly everyone, admitted that they needed something to live for. This proves it's not some high-minded philosophical idea. It's a basic human need, like food or water. We are literally wired to search for meaning.
So, what's the answer? It's realizing that meaning isn't some big, abstract secret hidden on a mountaintop. It's personal. It's your mission. The specific question life is asking you can't be answered by anyone else because there has never been and will never be another you.
And that brings us right back to where we started. Frankl's incredible legacy isn't a simple set of answers. It's a challenge. It's a call to action. Life is constantly asking you questions. Through your job, through the people you love, through your struggles, the meaning of your life is going to be found in the courage you show and how you answer.